I'm Marilyn Hilkema. I teach at Calvin Christian School, and I have taught at Calvin Christian School since 1975.
Our teacher!
When you're with 6 and 7-year-olds every day, their excitement for learning and for God's world and for learning something new is just amazing.
When I was in 1st grade, I liked Mrs. Hilkema because she always encouraged me and she always tried to help me in whatever way she could.
Or when they learn to read and suddenly their eyes just sparkle because they've conquered it and they've learned it.
She's really nice and she does really good Bible stories.
The integration of faith and learning is so important at Calvin.
And she teaches us a lot and she reads to us a lot.
The majority of the time, it comes out of discussions and questions from the kids, situations that come up. So I think that whole integration is a part of our day.
We have good stories.
Making sure they know it is God's creation, it's not just nature.
After the duckling song, she always laughed.
I remember practicing for drama night, and the kids were being pretty silly, and I was getting frustrated, and so we got back to the classroom and I talked to them, and one of the kids said, "Now, Mrs. Hilkema, you know when the parents are there, we'll do just fine." And that made me kind of relax, and it's made all the difference for drama nights ever since.
She's silly.
Talking about babies, kids are fascinated with babies, and not so much the whole process, but especially the umbilical cord. That's just their belly buttons, and that's just really fascinating to little people. And all of a sudden one child raised his hand and said, "Mrs. Hilkema, do you think Adam and Eve had belly buttons?" And I said, "You know, I've never thought of that question."
She answers all of our questions.
It has been amazing to see God work here.
Her Bible stories really brought to life in my mind. I could picture them and they stuck in my head forever.
We were studying animals and he was reading about wolves, and he came to me and said, "Do you know that wolves are just like Christians?" I said, "Well, how's that?" He says, "They mate for life." And I said, "You know, I hope you remember that someday."
She's really healthy and that she teaches really good things.
I think the thing I continually learn from my students is excitement about learning.
It's a really good Christian school and we can learn about God.
We are here to partner with you. You bring your children to us, but they're your children. And we are partnering, working with you and with your churches in nurturing your children to be disciples of our Lord.